Hello everyone, this is Running on Empty Food Review. Afternoon review, a mid-afternoon review on this glorious Friday. And here we are. Hardee's review. I haven't done Hardee's in a very long time, and that's partly because there really isn't any sort of Hardee's close nearby me. As a matter of fact, I'm not even exaggerating here, I had to drive 70 miles to get to this Hardee's right now. And so obviously you have to drive all that way for good reason, and good reason there is, as a matter of fact. They have their new hand-breaded chicken tenders out. And I mean, this is on national media. Everyone's talking about it. Every single person, newborn babies, even their first words are talking about these hand-breaded chicken tenders from Hardee's. So they gotta be worth trying, right? They just have to be. They're hand-breaded, they're breaded by hand, because no other chicken tenders are breaded by someone's hands. These are special, the first of their kind. And you can get them in, I believe, a 3-piece or a 5-piece, maybe a 6-piece, but here they are. I got a 3-piece. There they are, kind of sitting there. There's a good view of glorious review, brah. That's the word of the day. With the chicken tenders, I'll hold one up for you so you can better see it. Very interesting. It's crispy, very crispy, and looks like it's really covered in some sort of rub or some sort of seasoning. There's 1, 2, 3. Wow, look at that. We got the elusive 4-piece. There's a 4-piece. Whew, it's crazy. Most interesting thing you should note, when you touch these, you see on my fingers right here, you kind of see it's coated in this little sauce, or this little seasoning here, this little rub, I'd call it. Anyway, they're supposed to be spicy. They're supposed to have a spice on them. I'm just going to eat one first, let you know what it tastes like. Then I'm going to use some sauce, see how that is, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so the spicy, or just the hand-breaded chicken tenders going in. Why not? Well, what do they taste like, just as is? They are pretty good. And excuse me for a minute, it's very hot in here, so I'm going to turn the car back on, respectfully. Just it's a bit hot. Anyway, here we are. What does it taste like exactly? Well, interestingly enough, the spice that they talk about is not baked into the chicken. It's not, and it's not any sort of, it's really on the surface is what I'm trying to say. It looks like they used a dry rub on the chicken here, and it's immediately on the surface. So I mean, if you were to say just to lick the chicken tender, over and over, that's where you'd get the spice. It's directly on the breading. It's not kind of, as some would try to embed it into the meat or anything. It's not like that. Simply on the breading. It is it's interesting. The spice itself is potent, but it's mixtured. I think it's a mixture of different types of seasoning. So we got the spiciness there. In some bites, there's also a very noticeable saltiness, and at first, in the first bite or two that I took, I was a bit worried. I was thinking to myself, if it's this salty, it's horrible. But it was just in that one bite. Then a few of the later bites, there's even a little bit of sweetness too, so it's a different blend of spices and seasonings that they used on it. It's a very, very peppery, I'm sorry I can't pinpoint the specific pepper they use for this spice. I'm not I'm not a spice master or anything, so I apologize there. But it is noticeably spicy, and this spice that's in the chicken tenders here lingers on your tongue. You know, as I've been talking here for a few minutes now, I still notice that spiciness just lingering on my tongue and throughout my mouth. So these are pretty spicy. If you're sensitive to spice, I definitely recommend getting water or something with it. I know there's the noise, but we'll tough it out today. As for the quality of the chicken itself is good quality, at least. That's one thing that also accompanies this nicely, is that the chicken itself is good quality. Now, there's nothing overly special about the chicken in that it's, it's as you should expect it to be. You know, the chicken itself is not dried out. It's got a juiciness to it, and it is very flavorful and quality in that regard, so that's good. Now, you can get your choice of sauce, so we're going to try it with some buffalo sauce real quick. Some good old buffalo sauce for that added spice. Looks like the buffalo sauce is very watery, so we're going to have to be careful here. I don't want to spill it anywhere, especially since I just got this suit dry cleaned. Here we go. Put this little piece in here and see how the buffalo sauce is a good pairing, but the one thing that I notice with it, with the buffalo sauce, is that existing spice, you know, is a dry rub on the surface. That buffalo sauce, what adds spice of its own, I feel like it kind of takes away from that in a sense. It kind of substitutes that dry peppery spice to now this just, you know, this wet sauce that has a spice of its own. So if you like their buffalo sauce, you can go for it, but it's not necessarily mandated or at all. I'm not saying go for the buffalo sauce, you know. And last is their buttermilk ranch sauce. Not a big ranch lover myself, but it's worth it's worth a try. Maybe it'll go well with this. Let's see. The ranch sauce actually does a good job. It doesn't substitute the spice for its own, but it kind of milds the effects of it while still keeping that flavor. So maybe if you're, like I said, a bit more sensitive to the spice, and maybe you don't want to waste your, you don't want to spend or waste your money on a drink or something, you just don't have the cash, don't want to spend it, you could just get the ranch sauce and to go along with it, and that'll help make it a little more bearable in some ways. While still getting that full flavor of the chicken and the breading as well. Now, price-wise for this, well, let's see. Is this the receipt? Oh, here's the receipt right here. It was $4.38. $4.38 for it all, which I think is a little bit pricey for it. Regardless, they were good, but I don't think they were $4.38 good. I already mentioned it, and then I'll shut up and get to the rating. The one problem that I still notice again is that even though I wiped my hands several times to get that, that seasoning off of it, it's still there. Now I'm leaving these seasoning fingerprints on the receipt here, so it can just be a bit messy. So, keep that in mind and watch out for that. Out of 10, therefore, what am I going to be rating the hand-breaded chicken tenders from Hardee's? Out of 10, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give them an 8.3 out of 10. They're pretty good for what they are. Keep in mind that they can be a bit messy, and there may be a few little inconsistencies in them, but for what they are, they're okay. If you want to give them a go, I say. And that's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, The Report of the Week, and that's all I got. Thank you, and take care.